Hello, my name is Gail Whiffen-Coyle, and I'm the Associate Editor here at French Journal. And today I'm super excited to be speaking with 7 of our Student Voices Project honorees for this year. And they all are from Sidwell Friends in Washington, D.C. Give me a wave, guys. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
And in the back there is their teacher, Becky Farnham. Hey, Becky. And
Hello.
we're gonna let Becky go because she's a busy teacher. And I'm going to talk with the students. Thank you, Becky.
Thank you.
Okay, so we're going to go through introductions of all the students. They were all published in our April issue on mentorship and teaching our values. And this also has a big feature in it showcasing all of our student voices. There were 24 of them this year from 10 different schools. And Sidwell Friends is one of them. So can we go through introductions?
Sure.
Hi, I'm Amelia, and I did story time.
Hi, I'm Claudia, and I did story time as well.
Hi, I'm Imani, and I did Ponder.
Hi, I'm Parker, and I did Ponder as well.
Hi, I'm Maddie, and I did inspiration.
Hi, I'm Julian, and I did inspiration.
Hi, I'm George, and I did the inspiration.
Wonderful. And so that was all the students saying their names and which prompt they responded to for the project. So 3 prompts were covered. We'll start with the first one, which was story time. And for that prompt, we asked if students would tell a story, a time when they were involved in a conflict and if there was a peaceful resolution, or a time when there was no peaceful resolution, and just sort of explain what happened. So first up, Amelia wrote a piece called All the Way Home. Could you tell us just a little bit about what that was about, Amelia?
Well, it was when, about 2 or 3 years ago, I was in New York. And, I don't really know where in New York, just in New York City.
Yeah.
And it was busy, and it was at night, and I was walking back to our hotel room, and I saw a man get mugged. And I wrote about how it,
yeah.
scarred.
That was a very good piece. And then you even quoted a poem by January Gill O'Neill.
Yeah.
Is she somebody that you learned about at school?
Yeah.
Okay. And actually, we tweeted to her on Twitter, and she responded. She really liked your piece. Did you know that?
No.
You should check it out. Okay, next up we have Claudia. Now, Claudia also responded to Storytime, and her title was Sibling Rivalry. And this was actually a popular topic among the submissions, was talking about how to get along with your siblings. So, Claudia, what did you write about?
Well, I wrote about some conflict with my siblings. I have 2 siblings that are twins, a brother and a sister. They're about 2 years younger than me. And I had just gotten back from sleep camp in Pennsylvania, and I had drove straight from camp up to Vermont, and we have a house up there where we usually stay for a month during the summer.
Okay, so we're going to move on to the next prompt, Ponder, and 2 Sidwell students responded to that one. First up is Amani, and your title was Peace Begins With Me. And what did you write about, Amani?
Well, I didn't really write about a personal instance, but I wrote about what was going on in the world today and how there were some unjust things in the world.
And that prompt was asked the question, why do people fight? What causes violent conflict? How do people create peace? And what ensures lasting peace? So you definitely addressed some of those questions in your submission. And one quote I want to read from your piece is, peace can be created by tolerating and appreciating differences of others. Peace begins with one person and his or her commitment to nonviolence. I thought that was a very nice, a little nice phrase, Amani. Okay, next up, Parker.
Hi.
So your title was Liberty and Justice for All, and you also replied to the Ponder prompt. And you start out talking about how you had been learning about some things in American history, Japanese Americans, and also slavery. So can you talk a little bit about your piece?
Well, I really wanted to focus on everything that America had done wrong, because everybody thinks that America is such a great country, but really, a lot of America has done some really terrible things, including the concentration camps for Japanese Americans and slavery overall.
Okay. And then at the end, you say that you are half black and half Japanese. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, ish.
Ish.
I'm part of both.
Okay. Okay. So a little bit of both. And so did you feel like a more personal connection to the history that you were learning about?
Yeah.
Yeah. And a quote from your piece is, no one is inferior to anyone else, yet people still believe that some people are inferior. And you used a lot of exclamation points, which made me think that you were frustrated with a lot of things you were learning.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so the next prompt that we covered was inspiration, where there was a list of prompts, quotes from peacemakers. And each of you on the right side of the screen here responded to a different prompt. So first was Maddie, and you replied to the Nelson Mandela prompt. The quote is, if you want to make peace with your enemy, you have to work with your enemy. Then he becomes your partner. So Maddie, what did you think about that quote?
Nelson Mandela recently just died, so I thought I didn't really know that much about him, so I thought I would just kind of write because I thought the same thing as he did. I wrote about the Middle East and how there's been conflict going on for ever, and how people say oh, we need to stop this, this, and this, but you can't really stop it. You just need to try to compromise. You just need to kind of work together. Mm-hmm. And then you'll find out things that you didn't know before, and that'll help you stop the conflict.
Okay. And next was Julian, also in 6th grade, and he replied to the Rustin quote, Bayard Rustin, one has to fight for justice for all. If I do not fight bigotry wherever it is, bigotry is strengthened. So Julian, what did you write about?
Well, because I kind of thought when I heard that quote that some people, they're just wondering why is the world so bad. Some people need to change this, but if you're not doing anything to help stop it, you're kind of helping it. So,
right. And a good quote from your piece, think of where the world would be if no one ever spoke up against injustice. Now, think of where the world will be if no one ever speaks up for justice again. So I thought that made it very poignant and focused on the individual and what you can do to stop injustice that you see. All right, so the last but not least, George, and you are grade 5, is that right, George?
Grade 6.
Oh, you're in grade 6. Oh, for some reason I had grade 5. I apologize for that. Well, you wrote in response to the Martin Luther King Jr. quote that says, at the center of nonviolence stands the principle of love. And the title of your piece was, Why Do We Have Conflict?
Like Amani's, I referenced a lot of different conflicts and asking a lot of questions. But why I really focused on the Martin Luther King Jr. quote is because I remembered the movie that I saw, Selma, which really showed how much he worked for, and how when other people just couldn't be nonviolent, he could, and that's what really turned around the civil rights movement. And that really spoke to me, and I thought about how that could fix so many conflicts instead of bombing places, we could sit down with leaders and talk to them, sign treaties. And what the love spoke to me was sort of like the Nelson Mandela quote, your enemy can become your partner if you just work with them. And I think that has a lot to do with love, in the sense that you need to, it's hard, yeah.
Yeah, that's wonderful. Those are very good thoughts. Well, thank you so much for sharing about your submissions. Everyone there at Sidwell, had any of you been published before in a magazine?
No.
No? This is your first time? I'm shocked. You're all great writers.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So I hope you'll consider submitting next year to the project. We'll announce the theme for next year's project in September at the beginning of the next school year. And it'll be a different theme with a different prompt. So hopefully we'll get more great writing out of you. So thank you again. Everyone watching can read their submissions in the April issue that features the Student Voices Project, the second annual Student Voices Project. And we hope to hear more from Sidwell Friends soon. Okay, bye guys. Have a good day at school.
Bye.
Bye.